Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with Schla. And I have not really had much more thoughts, honestly. I thought yesterday episode I really liked. Just seemed like I was coming up with a lot. I don't know. But things are a little bit rushed, because those days are really packed when I stay late. It feels like I was in the car and then I'm out of the car and now the morning I'm in the car again, like really fast. So hopefully that won't be as much of an issue tomorrow because again, I get out early today, so it's pretty chill. So, yeah. But I guess it's more of the same. I think what I was just thinking about, or something that's still I guess very meaningful to me, is just how hurt I've been due to people's poor memory. It's just very frustrating, and honestly, being a human also, like, I've forgotten things before. But I personally get upset about it, whereas I think if most people forget something, they just kind of, like, don't, like, not really fazed by it, especially nowadays. I feel like, if anything, people are even less fazed by forgetting things because of how just, I don't know, the way the world is now. It's even less significance to trying to remember things or things like that. Maybe it was always like that, though. I don't know, but things were definitely slower when I was growing up. There's no doubt about that. People, to do things, there was just a lot. Like, you think of, it is actually pretty difficult to kind of go back and imagine that you would do things and you had nothing to do. So if you went to the movies, because that's what I'm thinking of right now, you just went to the movies and you just didn't do anything in the car, you didn't do anything before it started. I mean, I don't know. And then it eventually got to this point now where we got so used to some kind of constant stimulation. Now it's like, in a car ride, okay, put headphones on. In a car ride, oh, here, you have this to do, you have that to do. Like, there's always something to do, which is actually not a terrible thing. It's just that it's not being utilized properly at all. It's being very poorly executed because it's gotten to the point where it's like for a lot of people, it's like a trigger finger response where you don't have anything to do and it's just immediately TikTok. Like, that's kind of, it's just this singular boredom source. It's kind of the way it is. At least that's like the gist I get from it. It's not really, yeah, there's like not much else, and it's just like a constant state of upheaval. But I still grew up in the world before that, and it's just like thinking about how slow things were, and all the time that I had to think. Similar to this car rides with Schla, I obviously did a lot of thinking. Now I realize my peers may have not. Like, because I have to start applying that and realizing the stark difference between how I am operating versus how other people were. And I do think the truth is most people would be an empty void regardless. Like, a lot of people were just never, I don't know, but I think their souls have been maybe taken from them more so. Because it's all the stuff I've explained, how, I've explained it all before, and I noticed that people have very, very, very poor emotional bandwidth and processing. And I want responses from people when I'm in arguments with people. Their behavior when it comes to resolving any of these things is horrible. And I really only attribute it to that constant trigger finger response to just flooding themselves with noise. Instead of, in the past, you probably would have been forced to think or reflect and to feel pain and to feel boredom. I just don't know that, like, people even understand how far things have come. Because in my impression of it, it doesn't seem like people remember the past properly, and it seems like people don't really think about it very much. It just kind of, and that's kind of scary to me. Now, maybe I don't remember the past perfectly, but I'm really sure that my gauge for it is a lot more accurate than a lot of people. I just think a lot of people's minds, it's so difficult to remember, and to remember how things were, or like how much better things were. It's just interesting. It's very interesting. But it's sad for me. It's sad. But that is how it was, and I think inherently, especially for the soulless ones, they were forced to do more reflection and have more care. It's impossible for a world like that to not be more caring. But with the way things are now, it's actually a heightened state of superficiality. And technology has enabled that, where it's this peak of fantasy. It's this peak of the fakeness of humanity and society. But I think it will come to an end, because technology's final form is actually a cold end to all these things. Tech's final form is going to have a brutal and cold consequence. Everybody will be accountable for everything. And so it's only a matter of time before these systems are implemented. But it's sort of like the last surge of the end, I think, of the superficialness of things. And in the future, it's just going to be people are who they are. There's not going to be resumes. There's not going to be any of that stuff, because you'll just have the brain chip and your literal mind will be the gauge. They'll just be able to process all your experiences in life and then make employment decisions or deductions based on that. That's just how it's going to be, you know? And for me, I like it. For me, it seems good. It seems nice. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. There obviously can be issues potentially with a system like that. We'll have to see. Sorry, I was concentrating on driving, and that was like really a little bit silly what I just did. Very silly. Because I notice when you're in a higher gear, really accelerates fast going downhill than the lower gears, and I was just experimenting and had to take that turn really hard, and it was just probably fine, but closer. I'm usually a very chill driver, so sorry. And then my bag's going all over the place. It's just like, should be good now though. All right. So, yeah, it's basically been I might witness the turnover point and like the final manifestation of the prehuman, you know, where things were very chill and easy. There wasn't really accountability for anything. I mean, we're probably going to see the end of that. Sorry, I'm very, uncomfortable right now because the person behind me has very bright headlights. And I'm assuming it must be some kind of truck or SUV because I don't usually I haven't ran into this issue in a long time. I also think it's the older lights because the older lights tend to shine up more. And I noticed the new lights, they started designing them a bit smarter where it's angled very downward as to not be as much of a blinding issue. But that could also be a limitation with just the old bulbs versus the LEDs. But yeah, I'm just very frustrated because their headlights are super bright and it's really bothering me. Like, it's just really annoying, and usually people shift into the other lane and just pass me, but this person is not, and I just very confused because I don't really think this has happened before. So, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, too, because like I've explained, in the future you would just the brain connection. Like, I would be like, he would have a chip in his brain, I would have a chip in mine. You would see people's thoughts as you drove, and you would just know. That's what I'm saying. Social media is really just the precursor, because with social media, it's still that fake human veneer at work. But once this tech is in place, there's going to be no more of that. You're just going to, if you want to know a person, you'll know them. You'll have their account, and every single thought they've ever had would just be there. It would just all make sense. Whereas now you only see posts that people specifically choose that they want to be public. I really thought this guy was going to turn into an exit, but he did not. So now I'm still more confused about why he's not passing me, and just these really bright... I'm assuming, I never actually thought about it until now, but maybe the old lights couldn't have been as, like, pushed downward or, like, articulate. It's just so weird. It's such weird behavior. Because nobody ever does this kind of stuff. Like, it's not... I've obviously driven, like, a lot. I've been... I'm on the highway every day. And... just nobody's ever behaved like this before. I'm only talking about it because it's legitimately getting in the way of me being able to think of things or talk, because it's just so bright in my face. Like, I can't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's I legitimately, it's like very difficult. I think he's finally passing me. Yeah, I wonder, just like an old truck. I mean, I think the main possibility is it's just another guy who isn't, like, he's probably just not that impatient, So, like, it just took him a bit to do it. Because that kind of makes sense. And it's just because it's an old, like, if it was a newer truck, I'm sure... or like a regular car, the headlights are not like as much in your face. So it just depends, it just depends. It's okay though, he's gone now. Although, honestly, I don't know. It seems like there's like a lot of stuff on the road. Kind of weird. Oh, but what were we talking about? It was pretty good, and I forgot. It was a pretty good conversation, and I forgot. It's a shame. It's really a shame. Sorry, while I was drinking water, I could not talk, but I remembered we were talking about the transition from the previous human state to the post, which is actually being accountable for stuff materially now. Sorry, just had a flurry of thoughts. And I'm pretty excited for it, but I have a feeling most people aren't going to like it. But I will be very happy. We're still years out, though, so that's why, like, in the meantime, I just have to subsist. Like, I just have to save money. But see, money may not even matter. Because, like I said, I think they could do some kind of property seizure. I think it's entirely possible they would just seize. Yeah, but see, this guy's truck, it's the older light. And it's not as bright. It's actually it's a lot dimmer. Like, this wouldn't really distract me that much. So, I wonder what the deal was with that other... I mean, they must have just been brighter. Like, I guess... Because the truck behind me now, it's older, but I don't think it was as old as the other guys. But yeah, there was something, like, specifically bright about that old truck. I'm not sure. It could have just been, maybe it was like a more specialized truck, so it had brighter lights. Because this is still... What's behind me right now, it's not an F-150, but it's probably like the... step up, like it could be like an F-250 or something like that. Oh no, it's still like a pretty big, it might have been like an F-350. Yeah, so see, that doesn't make any sense. I guess they could have... There's more lights though, so maybe because there's more lights, they don't have, like the old truck that was behind me, the headlights were fairly small, so maybe they have to be brighter to try to cover the same space. Because the Ford truck I just saw basically has two headlights stacked on top of each other, so it's a lot more area of light emanating. So maybe there is something to that. I don't really know. Don't really know how light physics work all that much, sadly. But then just seeing like a new... No, but that's not even... That's an old van. I think that was just an old van with updated headlights. Alright, you guys are probably sick of this. You don't want to hear me talk about headlights. We were just talking about very important things. I'm saying I don't really know how much saving money is even going to matter, because it might just get seized from us. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I live to see the day of mass property seizure. I just think it's not going to be fair. Like, my vision for it is actually, it would probably be a good thing to have property seizure, but I have a hunch it's going to be corrupt how it's implemented. I just do. I don't know. And it's something to keep in mind if there ever is any of this stuff implemented. The government would need to be fully transparent. There's no excuses for anything. You know, it would just absolute full transparency. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because there would be no excuse for that at that point, you know? like to have the transparency because of the tech and the tracking. We would be able to pull that off. And so, very important. Sorry, I just had a thought because this guy was like racing around people, and then he like flashed his high beams at me, but then he's like barely in front of me putting the brakes on. Like it's just such lousy driving. Yeah, that's because the government would need to be completely transparent as well, and it's possible for that to be the case, but it's going to be risky. Like if we as citizens are told what to do, and then we don't, what if it's not the right instructions? So there'd have to be receipts for everything on the government side as well. Like you can't just have society need to use receipts, but then you have, you know, a mixture of government officials and really rich people who just don't. Which is probably what would be the case, right? But I don't know. I don't think it would be impossible to just make it so everything was fully transparent regardless of how rich you were. But I don't know that I'd live to see that. See, that's like the sad part, is I'd probably live still in the corrupt phase where it's like you could buy your privacy. It would basically be nobody has privacy, but you can pay for it. You know, like privacy is not something that is inherent to the human experience. It's not a right. It's something that rich people pay off. You know, that's basically what I think I would live to see. I don't know that I'd live to see the end point of the actual execution, which would be hypothetically and hopefully, like I was describing, there's not any people Sorry, this guy was just tailgating me like really hard. I just don't understand. And his car was very low to the ground, so it was like difficult to see. I don't know that I'll live to see that side of things, though. Very sadly. But yeah, I'm getting hit with kind of a wave of tiredness. I actually think... Oh, you know what? That actually is a good thing to bring up. I think I slept well. Although, like, at the same time, not really. I woke up due to dreams, I think once or maybe even twice. Which is, again, it's very weird. Oh, and then, like, I accidentally fell asleep way sooner than I thought. So my bedtime consistency is probably off, yeah. Because it was an accident. Like, I just fell asleep way too soon, and it was just not a good situation. I don't know. It's not, it was still within an hour. It wasn't like crazy, but it was still sooner than I should have, you know, like you really want to keep it under like 30 minutes, but I'm pretty sure it was still under an hour of. But yeah, I did go to bed like way too early, and then I ended up having a really weird dream that was like very gruesome, and I can't even remember it that well. It was like fighting, which is not, it's not common for me because I don't think that way at all. And I'm not, like, I don't know, but I was like coughing up blood, and I think the other person who I was fighting was also the same. And I can't remember what was going on before the fighting, but I woke up feeling pretty, like, grossed out. I mean, it was just, like, not... just weird to have those kind of things, because I don't like that kind of stuff. I never... Yeah, so I don't know. Just very strange. Very strange for me to be dealing with. And it wasn't a good dream, and so I guess you could call it a nightmare, but I don't think it was like scary. It was just not good. Like I just didn't like it. I mean, maybe that is a nightmare, but I wasn't scared, it wasn't like I woke up afraid. It was that I woke up and I didn't like what I was dreaming about. So I'm not sure if that counts as a nightmare, really. I'd be curious to look up what the specific definition of a nightmare is, because that would kind of answer my question. It would answer the question. Yeah, this guy's just like really throwing me off. He's in some Lexus sedan with special purple LEDs on the front, and he's really tailgating me hard. And he's just like, oh my gosh, that was just... He's just driving like a maniac, and it threw me off. It had me slip down, shifting. I mean, oh my gosh, that was just... And then he went straight to a red light. Let's keep that in mind. Like, it wasn't like he was not doing that. I don't know. Well, it wasn't like he gained anything from all that behavior. It was really a silly... He went straight to a red, Yo, that light is just, oh my gosh. I mean, I made it through it today, but... And then the next one, yeah, it's like, seriously, this... But even just then, there was this guy that flashed his high beams and, like, swerved around me. And he's gotten to the same spot that I'm still kind of behind him right now. Like, even though he's used his brake multiple times and accelerated a lot multiple times, like, this stuff is just, it just gets me every time. Whoa, I'm early. I did not realize how early I was. I think because there were so many situations where I didn't really feel comfortable, so I was driving faster than usual. It actually, yeah, it makes a difference. Because it does make... I think I've admitted, I mean, me driving slower, there is truth to it. It's about, like... I kind of cut it low at 3 minutes to make it I guess, seem like people are more stupider than they are, but I have a feeling it's probably more like 4 minutes is the more accurate kind of difference. But it all depends on how long the commute is and where you're at in the commute and things like that. So, but also my light luck was relatively good. I mean, if the light luck wasn't good, that's still so weird though. I guess driving a little bit faster does, like, I would get to work faster if I drove like that every day, but like I said, I feel like it's more wear on the car. I don't know if it is, but I think it is. I mean, I don't know. I really do. I think it's more wear on the car and stuff. It's pretty. When I asked GPT though just now, like, it seemed like it wasn't, but I don't know if I buy all that. Like, I kind of think that it is more wear on the car. It's just, you know. Oh my gosh, I'm not even paying attention. I need to clock in. I might miss a minute. I might miss a whole minute. That would be, like, really, really stupid. Oh, that would be so stupid. I was not thinking or paying attention. Ooh, it's close. I was in 50 seconds. Very, very close. Yep, well, what can you do? Well, I mean, nothing bad even happens. I don't know why I'm saying what can you do. But all right, and then really once I get home, I will finally have a chance to recharge through the bad week. And then we'll be good. We'll be very good. But yeah, that was like record time. So I guess it does make a difference, but I guess it makes more of a difference than I thought. I guess that is true. Now, what is there to say? We're here. But yeah, I think I'm just going back to my roots of, like, who cares about the system? I'm just so... Oh my goodness. I just want the aliens to come and save me. Why can't they just come save me, you know? Because they could. I'm sure I'm on some kind of watch. I just wonder why nobody's jumping in yet, you know? My bad foot's really been acting up, though. It's weird. It's actually doing a lot better. And then now it's like really not. It's really hurting. So that's not great, but don't know what can be done. So just have to keep functioning. Alright, well, it's been schla, but now it's time to buy schla. So, see you schla.